Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we have an interview with Brad Riley. He is a social media marketer. He's someone that has been in my mastermind, someone that I've known for quite a few months now, and we've got a really interesting interview about how he basically set up his business, where he went from start to finish. So when he kind of was working his 9 to 5, etc., kind of like at uni, to the point now where he is, self-sufficient and completely self-employed. So without further ado, let's get into it. But of course, first, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment any questions down below. Like the video if you like this sort of stuff and you want to see more interviews and case studies with people. But let's go into it straight away. All right, guys. So we are here with Brad. Brad, can you just before I start talking too much, can we just start by you introducing yourself a little bit further?
Yeah, of course, man. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on the channel. So for most of you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Brad Riley. I do social media marketing as my full-time business, mainly freelance more so than agency, but I'm sure we'll get onto that later in the video. I've been an entrepreneur now for probably 6 to 7, maybe even 8 months pushing. I do personal branding and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you kind of personal branding, bit of social media marketing, well, a lot of social media marketing.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to talk about, first of all, so everyone can kind of get to know you a little bit more, understand a bit about your journey, is can you talk about, I want to talk about 2 things in particularly. The first one I want to talk about is actually more about personal branding and your because you have 2 YouTube channels, right?
That's right.
Can you tell me about both of them, or can you tell everyone about both of them?
Yeah, sure. So one of them is the typical vlog style YouTube channel that I don't really post on anymore, but I used to post on at all times. So just the typical, I want to be a YouTuber type channel, just vlogging my life away. Not really any niche there. It's not business related. It wasn't fitness related. It purely is just me sharing my life. And I worked on that channel for about 12 to 18 months, something around that. I was grinding hard, working hard, growing my channel, my subs, and built up to about 17,000 subscribers. And I think the most money I ever earned in the whole 18 months doing it was I got one £20 donation.
Nice.
And I get consistently, I think I actually got some yesterday. I got $1.89 from AdSense yesterday. So raking in the cash. But yeah, so the max I ever made in total, I think, was probably about £50 throughout the whole year and a half of doing it. Like I said, that was just vlogging and all that stuff. Now I've converted over to a business channel. So like I said, I do freelancing now. I do social media marketing. So around 2 or 3 months ago, I started up my business channel. Like I said, just been sharing my journey, teaching people how I've built my business, how to get clients and all that good stuff. As of the time of filming this, I'm sitting at just over 200 subscribers. And this month, I'm probably going to make anywhere from £2,000 to £3,000 from it. So quite the jump up from £50 for a year and a half's work. Bear in mind, I was like grinding, hustling, like reaching out to people all the time. With this channel, it's a bit different. I've only got 200 subscribers, but, I'm now making double to triple what I used to make in my old full-time job. And I've got, like I said, one 1/30th of the amount of subs or something nuts like that. So
that's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. But what about, so what happens kind of in between those 2 points, right? In between kind of stopping doing all your, like the vlogging channel and then starting your entrepreneurship channel. What was the in between?
So I was a uni student. So when I was filming all my daily vlogging stuff, I was a uni student. So I had all of this free time in the UK. I think I had something like 10 hours a week of doing business, and then all the rest of the time I was completely bored. But I always wanted to have my own business. I always wanted to work from home, be an entrepreneur. And at the time, I saw the success that all these big YouTubers were having, making loads of money from AdSense, getting quote unquote quite famous and well known. So I thought, you know what, let's just hop into that. I see people, there was people literally playing video games making 10 million a year from AdSense, right? So I thought, all I need to make is £1,000 a month to do this full time. It's 1 million views a month on average, like maybe 500k views. Let's see if I can build up a channel and do this full time. So all I was doing for, like I said, 18 months was like grinding out. I posted over 500 videos in my first year doing it. And I was like literally hustling hard, working harder than I ever done in my life, staying up late, commenting on people's videos, replying to messages, like hustling super hard. And I was soon to realize, like, I had 17,000 subs. I was pulling a few thousand views of video, and I was getting no financial benefit from it. And like I said, I was just grinding as hard as I can, right? Anyway, I quit uni, got a full-time job, I worked for a few months. And when I worked a full-time job, I didn't have as much time to put into it. So I realized I had to find another way to make money. I was like, there has to be an easier way for me to make money online. So that's when, like, I stumbled into freelancing and social media marketing. Anyway, when I built up my business, I just didn't have time to do this other YouTube channel anymore. So it completely fell to the back burner. It wasn't like I've just given up on it. I always had the plan to get back into doing YouTube because I always enjoyed filming videos. But I never planned to quit. I just started my business, and like I said, that took up all of my time. So as I built my business, and I noticed some of the success people were having, in the personal branding of, business channels, I started to just think, what, like, I've built up a profitable business now. I'm earning, a few £1,000s a month. Let's just start sharing my journey. And I realized almost overnight, you don't have to know millions more than the next person to make money from it. All you have to know is a little bit more than the average person, and then you can coach them on it. And people in the entrepreneurship niche are buyers, so it is a lot more easier to obviously monetize a personal brand in the business niche than it is obviously just like the vlogging, the typical like lifestyle type vlogger niche.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what about in terms of your freelancing? Because when we first kind of spoke, we'll go into that in a minute, but kind of you found clients, right? So probably most people watching this channel will understand what social media marketing is, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't, just the ability to manage clients or businesses' social media accounts to grow their businesses, help them out. And everyone was always talking about, you've got to go and walk through the door, you've got to go and cold call people. You had a completely different way of doing it, which has worked very well for you, and which is obviously what you now kind of teach people how to do. Without giving out obviously all your secrets, can you just explain to people what you did that was different, and kind of how it works for you now, particularly with how you've been able to maintain that kind of work-life balance, if that makes sense?
Yeah, of course, man. So a lot of people who are familiar with social media marketing know that a huge part of the social media marketing realm is Facebook ads and getting results for clients, because the way you're able to charge these clients, 1.5K, 2K, 3K a month is because your social media marketing efforts, your Facebook ads, then bring them in, 5, 10K a month in revenue. So in order for you to charge this amount and all that good stuff, it basically comes down to Facebook ads and finding businesses which can afford to do so, right? So, if you are at all familiar with the normal way, I'd say, of getting clients, it's a case of, prospecting businesses which can afford your services. You've then got to make a list of them. You've then got a cold call. You've got to get past the gatekeeper. Then you've got to try and set up a meeting. And then once you're in the meeting, you've got to try and, first off, you've got to convince them why they should even consider doing social media marketing, the benefit of it. Then you've obviously got to convince them why they should choose you, why you've got the experience to help them, etc. It's just a very long process to get a client. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. A lot of my friends, a lot of people in this industry have had huge success with it, right? I just take a different approach because in the beginning, I'm not even going to be afraid to admit it, I was too afraid to pick up the phone to call. Now, looking back on myself in hindsight, I need to tell myself to stop being such a wimp and just pick up the bloody phone, right? But you got to understand, 9-12 months ago, I was a really awkward person, right? I was really a massive introvert. I'd hate even calling up like the takeaway to order a takeaway. I would hate to even be on the phone. But rather than just give up and just say, you know what, like this isn't for me, I started to see if there was another way that I could get clients. I was thinking that surely there's another way out there that means I don't have to go into this cold or, go into a meeting, door to door or ring up people. So I started to look, research all over the internet, and I stumbled upon freelancing, right? And a lot of you are probably familiar with Upwork.com. It's a lot of people outsource their work on there. I even outsource all of my stuff on there as well. But it's also a really good place to get clients. One thing I do differently, and this goes full circle now to what I touched on at the beginning about Facebook ads. I don't do any Facebook ads for any of my clients. I don't do any Facebook ads. I do the really basic and simple, just the management of the pages, the posting, maybe create a few graphics, maybe grow an Instagram page, but super basic, right? Anyone can do it. It's very easy to learn. The reason I enjoy doing this is because it's super simple to do, super simple to outsource, but you'll be surprised at how many clients actually want that doing. Mm-hmm. So I'd say on an average day, I probably apply to about 15 to 20 jobs a day, but there's literally hundreds a day of just like social media management work, social media marketing work on there that I apply for. Now, the reason I enjoy doing this and I think it works fantastic is because they're completely warm leads. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to convince them why they need social media. Like they already know that they're making a job posting that they need social media. All you have to do is convince them why they should choose you over the other person. Over the past, like I said, 9 months now, I've become a master at sort of like the way I promote myself on my page and getting them to choose me over other people. But, I don't have to make any cold calls. It literally, I take an hour a day. I apply for all the jobs. I wait for them to reach out to me. I hop on a phone call, and it really is as simple as that. And I could quite easily go out and get more clients cold calling, but mm-hmm. I just don't feel the need to anymore. It runs so smoothly in the background that, I just sort of let it be as it is. But yeah, I do things a little bit different to most people, but for me, it works fantastically. And like I said, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to do so.
Exactly. And the interesting thing as well, so you'll get the clients on Upwork, mm-hmm. right? But then you'll outsource work as well on Upwork.
It's a little bit, sometimes I feel like I've broken the system. I'm like, surely there's something wrong, something's going to happen here. But yeah, this is the power of, like, anybody here's ever knows who Joe Soto is, he speaks a lot about becoming like a figure of authority. And mm-hmm. by me becoming that figure of authority on my Upwork profile, people want to work with me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how much I charge, doesn't matter any of this stuff. They look at me and they want to work with me just because of the way I've branded myself and the way I come across when I speak to them. I can then outsource that to other people, but because I'm the consultant, I'm the person that they're going through, I can charge X amount more, but I don't even do half the work anymore. So it's so powerful, like the way you brand yourself, and like I said, the authority you have is like super important when doing it. But yeah, I outsource the work people pay me to do on Upwork. I outsource to other people on Upwork.
Well, that's brilliant. As long as you find trusted people, which I know you have. That's the thing, that's the reason why I wanted you to really talk about that for the people watching. Is one of the big concerns people have is I don't have enough time, mm-hmm. right? And with what you're doing, your time is really spent on getting new customers.
Yeah,
and then just put in the strings, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like I if anybody who here knows who I am, like I'm really, really, really big on smart work, not hard work. Now, it doesn't mean I've never worked hard in my life, but going back to the YouTube channel thing, I grinded 3 videos a day, hustling, replying to comments to get to 17k subs. But how much money did I make from it? £50 in a year and a half. I upload a video a day on my other YouTube channel and maybe do an Instagram post every now and again, and I make 100 times that. Like it's not so much about how hard you work; it's about how smart you work. So for me, a big thing is, I could quite easily, like I said, cold call businesses all day and spend time prospecting. But for me, I'm working harder than I need to. For me, when I can just go online, it takes me maybe 30 minutes to 40 minutes every morning, apply for a list of jobs. I copy and paste my cover letter and send it in, set up some calls when I need to, and then outsource the work. I'm literally not working in my business whatsoever. I focus purely on getting clients. And that's one thing I really promote you shouldn't be working super, super hard. Like you don't need to. You just need to be working smart and focused on things that are going to bring money into your business, like client acquisition. If you have a personal brand, creating a YouTube channel, posting daily videos is going to, produce income for you. That needs to become a main priority. a lot of people I see, they create a website and they're worried about getting results for clients. But you don't even have a client yet. Why are you worried about getting results? You don't have a client.
Yeah.
Like business cards, all this stuff. So, that's the thing. I focus more so on getting new clients, more so than anything else in my business. And that might only take me an hour a day, but I'm getting more clients than the next person because I put my time into that as opposed to the stuff that doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's a really cool point. And you kind of go on to working smart and stuff like that. So that's a nice little segue. But before we do, guys, just make sure if you are interested in this niche and you want to learn a bit more about what Brad is doing, obviously just go and check out his channel. It's going to be linked down below. And you've got loads of content on there and stuff like that. And obviously you can reach out to him for support as well because he's got time because he outsources all his work.
I've got lots of time.
Exactly.
Too much time.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of like routines and stuff like that because I know you're a big advocate of this. I actually just want to find out for myself, to be honest, and hopefully other people will find this interesting. But you have like morning routines and like evening routines, whereas like my morning routine is kind of like try and wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And just try and just get some coffee and stuff. But can you, because I know you haven't done this forever, but can you just give people an overview about what your kind of routine is and how it's kind of changed either your mindset or your, whatever the impact has been?
Yeah, man, of course. Firstly, I just want to say, like, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say 7 days a week without fail, I do this every day. No one's perfect, but it's just, if for example, if you fall off for a day, just make sure you get, the next day you get up and doing it. It's just like the consistency. So don't think all of a sudden, like, you've got to get up and do this every single day. I don't do this every day. I try to do it consistently Monday through Friday. The weekends, Sundays I have off. I don't work on a Sunday. On a Saturday, I might go off and do stuff with my girlfriend. I might want to lie in bed. But Monday to Friday consistently, I try to stick as close as possible to my morning routine. And I like to get up at 6 a.m. every morning. Recently, since Christmas, it's become a lot easier. I've literally just got back from Australia, so because of the time difference, I was waking up super early anyway. So for me, waking up at 6 a.m. actually isn't too hard, but I know for a lot of you it is. So the way I like to do it, like I said, is wake up at 6 a.m. I use an app called Alarmy. It's flipping amazing. It basically, there's a few options you can have on it. You can either set it so you have to do a maths problem when you wake up, or you've got to scan a barcode, or you can like take a picture of something every morning, but the alarm doesn't go off until you do that. So for someone like yourself, Jonny, or someone who struggles to wake up in the morning, it's a completely free app. Just check out Alarmy. So it's just alarm with a Y on the end. Completely free. Really, really good. But yeah, so from then, 6 a.m., I try to get up 6 a.m., wake up. From then, I'll go down. Well, first things first, I'll have a big glass full, hydrate myself. And then I don't have them with me now, but I've got these two booklets, one of which they're two journals, right? One of them is, if you're familiar with morning routines, it's just the normal stuff. So I do affirmations, gratitude. There's like a little quote in there which I read. I just do that every single morning. It literally takes me like 2 minutes. It's really good as well because you're starting your day off so positive, right? You're waking up and you're writing things that you're grateful for. Like, does that mean all of a sudden you're going to make more money in your business? Well, probably not. But if you wake up every morning and you say 3 things that you're grateful for, it just frames the way the way you'll treat the day just is more positive off the bat. And then from then, I plan my most important task of the day. And this is something that I really promote to people is, it's easy to get caught up in doing all these busy tasks, replying to some DMs or building your website, for example, or getting some business cards. Okay, if you've got all the time in the world, that's fine. If you want to do that stuff, get it done, but not until you've done the most important task of the day. So like I said, after I've written down my gratitude, like what I'm grateful for, I'll write down my most important task of the day. And then I ensure that is like the first thing that I do every single day. So for me, it is client acquisition. And my most important task of the day is the same every single day, because what it entails me doing is going onto Upwork, reaching out to clients. Now, if I do that every day, bear this in mind, I apply to probably on average, just say, I'm just going to lowball it here. On average, say I apply for 10 jobs a day. If I apply for 10 jobs a day consistently every single day for a month, that's 310 or 300 potential leads, warm leads that are potential clients. Now, just say I close 10% of those. That's 30 new clients in a month. Say an average client for me might be £500. That's what, 15 grand a month in potential revenue, like a month. So rather than me focusing on all this other stuff, my most important task of the day is to get that done. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I write down my most important task of the day, then my second most important task, my third, my fourth, my fifth. And like I said, and from then I just I go work out. One of the things I'm really trying to change this year is my health and fitness level. So I'll go to the gym, I'll go to have a sauna, I'll go for a swim or whatever, and I'll get back. And then as soon as I'm back from the gym, I'll have a shower, and then I'm ready to start my day. And literally, like I said, first things first, before anything else. Most important task of the day, get it done. And then from then, the second most important task, third, fourth, but do it in order of priority.
Good point. I don't do it. I'm just like, what should I do now?
I'm not perfect, man.
YouTube video? Yeah, I'll do a YouTube video today.
The thing is, I'm not perfect, man. I like to say that I do this every day. I don't do this every day, but because I fall off. I'm human, like just like everyone else. I'm not sitting here saying I do this every day. Like yesterday, I didn't do this. I woke up at like 9-10 o'clock yesterday, really, and I felt like so bad all day. But this morning, I got up and cracked on with it again. It's about staying consistent with it and making the most of your days. So.
Exactly. So let's have a little. I want to kind of the last few minutes. I want to think about kind of life a year ago versus life now, right? Because a lot of people that watch this channel either are kind of entrepreneur at the moment, people like yourself, just starting, or kind of not quite started yet. So what I really want to help people do, and I know what you want to help people do, is obviously get everyone to the next, wherever they are, to get them to the next level. I want to focus on people that are too maybe worried to start, or just starting, and they want to get started. So can you give me like a before and after of like what your life was like in terms of your enjoyment and stuff like that before, and then now after, maybe a year later, 18 months later, or not even, maybe a year later? Like that?
Probably about a year, yeah. Well, if a lot of entrepreneurs are like this, like I couldn't breathe in my job, right? So like I said, here's what's funny actually. 12 months ago today, right? So first 2 weeks into January, 12 months ago today, I was sitting my exams in university. I already dropped out once. I dropped out of university twice, right? So I'd already dropped out once. I went to work for a few months to tie me over until my next course. Started the course in September, which would have been September 2016. So I did that through until January, and around now I'd have my exams. Now, I'm not a good student. I'm a good student of life, I suppose. Like, I love reading business books and all stuff like that. But in regards to like academically, I'm not a good student. I didn't revise for my exams, right? And I got my results for these exams I would have been sitting 12 months ago, and I think I failed, right? I actually failed my exams. So I was super miserable. I hated my course. I'd already dropped out once. Like I said, I got a job between university courses. I was working 40 hours a week. I was miserable. And a little funny note, actually, on the note of that job, I worked there for 5 months, and I had to request because I'd filed my tax returns for this year, right? I had to request how much I earned. And in those 5 months, I earned £3,900 in 5 months. I probably earn similar to that now in a couple of weeks. And I love what I do now. Back then, like I said, I woke up, was working 40-hour weeks. I was miserable. I always wanted more out of life. Like I said, I was at university. I was failing my exams. Even my girlfriend said to me, she was like, look, I'm like quite a positive person, like, all the time. And she said to me, you're like, what's the matter with you? Like, you're down all the time. Like, and it's because I wanted more out of life. So, like I said, fast forward to when I started my business in about March. So this was a couple of months later. And as soon as I got my first client, well, my first 2 clients, right, I literally dropped out. I was in my overdraft, but I knew like I was going to make it work. I hadn't had any money even come in from my business yet. I was still waiting for the clients to pay me, but I'd got 2 clients. So I was like, I know it's possible now. I know how to do this. I just need to drop out. So, like I said, and then from then I was working on it full time as much as possible. But, back then I was like miserable, upset, like just trying to get stuff on. And I remember not that long ago, me and my girlfriend actually, and I'm not afraid to admit as well, we were sat there, we were literally crying to each other because she was in her overdraft, I was in my overdraft. Like, we had so much financial struggles. We had bills to pay at uni. Like, I was failing uni. Like, we were just so miserable. So then fast forward, I started my business. few months later, I literally just got back. Like I said, I actually flew out to Australia with Ollie Chapman. I think a lot of you guys will know him. Spent 2 weeks out there filming stuff. It was for business. Like, I'll be able to claim it back on tax. Like, I was out in Australia for 2 weeks with a like-minded entrepreneur. I've been able to surround myself with other entrepreneurs. People like yourself, Jonny, Ollie, lots of other people. All these opportunities have opened up where people have been reaching out to me for questions, and I've helped I've helped students of mine get clients, and it feels like I'm really making a difference as opposed to just stacking the shelves, like I said, being miserable, crying to my girlfriend because I was in my overdraft. So yeah, man, completely life-changing, 100%.
Yeah, life-changing. And that's why, like, a lot of people online will be like, try and sell you the dream. And there is a reason why. It's because it's so good.
Yeah,
it's because it feels brilliant, right? It's why we're smiling. It's why we enjoy. It's why we do this every day. It's because we enjoy it. And there's one thing that you did, which was like, I just want to talk very briefly about my mastermind, because I don't talk about this a lot on the channel because I try and keep it quite small. But how did you initially basically reach out to me? This is kind of what I want to go on to about networking. So just basically, we're going to talk about networking a bit.
Yeah. So it's funny, right? I always say this analogy about Tai Lopez, like about buying success. Like, Tai Lopez literally bought ads and bought his success, and now he's hanging around with Rihanna and all those people. So, I started my business. My business was profitable. At this point, it wasn't like making loads of money. I was probably making like, I think about £2,500 a month, which was more than I was earning before, admittedly, but I wasn't like, millionaire status. I wasn't making loads and loads of money, but I wanted more, right? And I knew the way to get that was to surround myself with like-minded people. So, I looked at people who weren't too far away, right? It's important to look at it. Like, if I wanted to reach out to Tai Lopez, it's going to, like, how am I going to get in front of Tai Lopez, right? But I looked at Jonny. I was like, well, Jonny's doing better than me. He's a like-minded entrepreneur. I need to surround myself with people like that. So the best way to do that is, I know people sometimes get, like, I could have sent you a DM and stuff, but you don't get that connection. So what I thought, I'm just going to pay for coaching. So I joined your mastermind, paid for your coaching. Within the first week of being in Jonny's mastermind. So when was this? Can you remember? Was it about
3 months ago, maybe? I don't know.
October, November time?
Something like
Do you think
that,
it was, maybe? So at this point, I'd been in my business for maybe like 6 months, right? And at that point, I was doing about 2.5K a month. Within the first week of being in the mastermind with Jonny, I doubled my income from 2.5K to £5,000 a month within a week of working with Jonny. And it's just surround yourself with like-minded people, bouncing ideas off of each other, getting a bit of guidance, that accountability as well. It's just so important. And, again, let's look at this other example. I invested, that's how I ended up meeting Ollie Chapman. I invested in his mastermind. And then 2 months later, we were in Australia together. Like, if you want to surround yourself with these people, I wanted to, be friends with Jonny, be friends with Ollie. How did I do it? I paid for their coaching, paid for their mastermind, and it led to other things. So I can't honestly recommend it enough to any of you guys who are thinking of investing in coaching or want to surround yourself with these type of people. It's so important to do so. And I think courses are good. I think books are fantastic, but there's nothing you're going to get out of anything more than, surrounding yourself with good and like-minded people.
That's really well said. Yeah, really
Thank
well said. No, I agree with you completely. Like, the people interactions can open up so many doors. Just by this. So I've done the same thing. I pay for coaching. I pay for people. I reached out for someone actually yesterday to pay them for coaching on YouTube ads. I was like, I need help on this. Can I pay you for it? And that's the thing. I believe that, like you say, you can buy success. I know you've done coaching with Eman as well.
Yeah.
Again, a great guy. And that kind of ability to put your money where your mouth is, that's what takes people to that next level once they've already started as well. So that's really cool. And for anyone watching, again, don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money to kind of get to know someone, because actually once you then speak to them, that really does open the door. I've seen this personally, you've seen this personally.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're not trying to do this to try and make money off you right now. We're just saying this to try and help you. Like, go and find someone that you want to learn off, and if you want to get their attention, offer to pay them money.
Pay them money for it.
It works. It works. Because otherwise, why are they going to give you your time, right?
Exactly. And you know what? If you have to, like, think about it, like the more successful and more famous they are, they're going to charge you more money. But if you want to surround yourself with those type of people, do it. Like, okay, right now you probably can't afford an hour of Ty Lopez's time, but if I can afford an hour of Jonny's time, so I'll pay Jonny, he might teach me something to earn more money, so then I can afford to then pay for Ty's time. So it's just a case of like leveling yourself up slowly, isn't it? But I couldn't recommend it enough. It's changed my business more than, like I said, more than courses, more than books, more than anything. It's just been coaching. So.
Incredible. Right, I think we're kind of probably cracking on to the half an hour mark now. I think what we want to round this off on is just to really find out if you have any kind of final thoughts, advice for people, like I said, because we all know that the kind of people that watch like this sort of video, because they want to know more about you, about your business models and how you've done it and stuff like that. Maybe if you want to leave on some advice or basically something that your final thoughts.
Yeah, man, definitely. So it's like a really, really like cliche thing to say. I know everyone always says this, but you honestly just need to get started. And what I see so much is people think they're getting started because they're hustling. And I know we've touched on this earlier in this video, but if you can take anything from this video, please take this away. It's not about how hard you're hustling and how hard you're working. I'm not saying that's not important. It is, but you need to make sure that you're hustling and you're doing the what's important for your business. So many people within, for example, like the social media marketing niche, for example, they focus so much on getting that website set up or that business card or someone else. They don't focus on getting clients, right? I see a lot of time as well, people, they want to learn about Amazon FBA. They'll sit and they'll go on YouTube for hours and hours and hours, but they already know enough to get started. You just need to make the commitment. You know what you need to do to get started. Just get started, and you're going to learn more than anything else from the mistakes you make, from the journey, as opposed to that extra hour you spend on YouTube. And I'm not saying it's not important. Self-investment and time and learning is like quite possibly the most important thing you can do, but there's a time to stop doing that and start executing on like the important stuff. So for anyone looking to get started, but in addition to that, get started doing the right things. We call them like IPAs, income producing activities. Focus on those things that's going to bring income to your business, no matter whether you're into Shopify, whether you're into Amazon FBA, whether you're into affiliate marketing, personal branding, SMMA. Figure out the one thing that's going to bring money into your business and get started with that. All the other stuff can wait until afterwards.
Definitely. It's quite interesting because a few things you've mentioned, because this is going to go live tomorrow for us. On today's video, I actually talk about some of that stuff. It's quite.
Oh, really?
It's going to be two nice videos back to back. I like it. Cool. So I want to thank you, Brad, for kind of spending time out your day to come on the channel. What I want to invite people to do is, what's the best way to either get in touch with you? Obviously, we've got your YouTube channel. Other ways to get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. If you have any questions, you know, the YouTube channel is great. Just leave a comment on one of my videos, or on Instagram as well. My handle is at Bradley J Riley. So if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. I try to reply to all of my DMs. So if you have any questions about, like I said, the way I get clients or general just business advice, or you want some guidance, shoot me a DM and I'll be sure to get back to you.
Awesome. Thank you ever so much, Brad. What I'm going to do, guys, if you like that, give this video a thumbs up. We want to smash that thumbs up button. If you also have any extra questions or thoughts, just leave them down in the comments. I'm sure you will kind of hang around the comments for a few days to kind of answer questions and stuff. Answer questions and stuff. But that's it, guys. Make sure, of course, you're subscribed to everyone's channel, always with notifications and all that sort of stuff turned on. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.